Hello there, my name is Casey. Thank you so much for checking out Clear Signal Rubber Productions. Sorry for my voice, I am having a sinus infection, and so I just want to give you a heads up on that. So if I cough a little bit, excuse me. But I decided to make this video and welcome to you to Clear Signal Railroad Productions, and I want to talk about what are we, talk about rail fanning, some things that will likely need when you go for rail fanning, when you go out and watch trains. So first off, my name is Casey. I'm the owner, founder of Clear Signal Railroad Productions, and I'm the only operator at this time for Clear Signal Railroad Productions. We started this YouTube channel just last week, and we posted our first video up, a short video of the K88 train going through the CSX Fitzgerald at Southeast Toppleton, which is part of the Jacksonville division, or going down the Waycross and are going up towards Montgomery, Birmingham, or Atlanta. It's near Manchester. It's about a 15-20 minute drive from to Manchester, Georgia. Don't go to Manchester often though. I like to go out where trains are in action, and it's really great. So, what is rail fanning, and what to use when you go rail fanning? It all depends on the railroad you go on, because each railroad is different in how they operate, and the railroad is operated by a company, or like CSX or Norfolk Southern, Union Pacific, BCNF, you name it. And so it's run by a subdivision or district by the company, and or a district. It could be run by a district, it could be run by a division, or it could be run by a subdivision. And it's rolled by a dispatcher, and depending on the railroad, it's run by a dispatcher or not. And if you have a signal on the railroads, that means it's run by a dispatcher at all times. And a dispatcher can just keep these signals in mind when you go on the railroad. If you see a red, that means it's not occupied, or there's no train in that area at the moment coming that direction, neither north or south. If it's yellow, that means it's a medium approach. That means the train's going to be coming through there shortly, through a medium speed. And then a clear signal means he has a clear signal through all that way, through that block. So that means that the train be coming very shortly. The first thing I want to keep in mind before you go out and rail fanning or track trains and stuff, the best thing to do is to study the railroad you go on. Each railroad has a block, which that's the signal that you will see, and that's a block in that area, like Southeast Toppleton, where I mainly go, which you mainly will see videos of, or I go in different areas like Junction City. What you got to do is keep in mind is there's railroads and piece of block, and those railroad scenes you see. And there's different types of railroads. There's two main tracks. There could be a siding where you'll be at. That's why you have to stay the railroad you go to, because each milepost has a milepost like AMBD or MP, stuff like that. For example, like milepost 768.7 in my recent video. So that's a milepost. So it just shows the mileage and stuff like that. It's just really nothing, just milepost. But one thing to keep in mind is the milepost, because you go between those areas and you will find where the railroad is at, where that block is. And each piece of railroad is by a block, so it's like Childs, Southeast Toppleton, Northeast Toppleton, Giles, stuff like that. And if it's on a subdivision, every few miles you have a defect detector that detects the train automatically on the railroad track, so you know the train is near. So the more you study about the railroads, the more better you will be when you go rail fanning and watch trains. The first thing I want to show you, the first things to have when you go rail fanning, is the first thing is to have a scanner like this that operates on 1600 megahertz frequencies. This is a Radio Shack 1000. And thankfully, it survived, because I was out there on the Lineville sub that goes from Birmingham down into Manchester one time, and it fell off the bridge, and it actually cracked it a little bit. I don't know if you could see that or not, but it actually survived. And guess what? It still works. So a Radio Shack scanner will do good, but have a different add-on antenna. This is a SRH77CA. For this antenna, each antenna are different, but if it runs on 1600 megahertz or higher, 100 megahertz or higher, you should be good. Railroad are operated on 159 megahertz and 160 megahertz, and that's what you want to do, because you can listen to the trains and where they're at, because each block they hit, that the train reports where he's at. And the more you study about the railroad, you will find where they're at, and that will help you a lot when you go rail fanning, and you'll be ready to take that shot or that video shot of that camera, of with your camera, or just get ready for that train to come on through that block. That's where you guess was why it's so key to have a scanner, because you'll be able to listen to the dispatcher at the moment where he's at in Jacksonville, and I also listen to the railroad where he's at and listen to the defect detector on the railroad frequency where he's at. So when I know where that train is, he can report where he's at, and I'll be ready for that train to come on through in a few minutes or next minute or two. And you mostly will hear a train in the background before he even gets near you, because of the diesel engines are very loud in that area as well. So that's the first thing to just really have, and just keep in mind, just look up frequencies in your area when you go rail fanning. And also the thing is probably have a cell phone. I have my Galaxy. So I just recently upgraded to the Galaxy S9 Plus. The reason why you want to mainly have a cell phone in case you want to take pictures on your phone or video, if you don't have it at a DSLR, which I'll show you in a minute. But you can look up information about the railroad track, the railroad you go on to, because it will let you load up where what subdivision you're on. You can look up a lot of research about railroads, and that's why you could do a lot of research online before you go to the railroad track. That's why I recommend you studying the railroad you go on before you go out there, because it depends on how busy it is. Because where I go out on the CSX Fitzgerald stuff, it can be busy, and let's say for an hour you see 4 trains, but you might not see another train for 30 minutes. That's why it's so key to have a phone with you, because you get to study the research about that railroad. You can study about the mileposts or where they're at, and the more you study about the railroad that you go on to, it shows you how busy it is, because some are busy, some are not. And that's why it's always key to have the scanner, because the scanner is always good to have when you go out rail fanning. Excuse me. So that's why you want to have a scanner. Another thing is to have a DSLR camera. This one is not cheap. This one is will run you about 600 plus. This is basically a Canon SL1. This is the body. I'll show you the lens in a minute. Detachable lens. The attachable lens is, but this is a EOS Rebel SL1. This is a touchscreen camera. I have It's a 12 megapixel, I think it is, but it depends on the lens. And this also has a pretty much a 64 gigabyte, this is by a Stream Pro. This is SanDisk. This is probably one of the best ones out there, and it's very fast to read and save things and take shots and videos of. I recommend this SD card because it's really good. I did look up cards like there, and you just slide it right in there, and you're ready to go. You'll see a light flash right up here on top. It'll show you when it's loaded. So always charge your batteries before you go out. Charge your batteries on your camera. Make sure you have extra batteries with you. Have a camera bag with you. I have a camera bag. I have a 55 millimeter lens, and I have a 300 millimeters, and I also have a GoPro. I haven't hardly used my GoPro, but I want to get more into that, using my GoPro, so you guys actually see what I do when I go out train tracking. But when you go rail fanning and when you go see trains and stuff, please, I urge you to stay at least 30 feet away from the main tracks or the main track at all times. And the reason why I tell you that is because you don't want that train to go into emergency and they get behind schedule. Not a lot of people know a lot of trains are on schedules and they got to meet certain schedule times to get there. So keep that in mind, and when you go out rail fanning, so keep your distance from the main track. And that's why I always have a good you're actually looking, if you do have a DSLR, the best I figure out the best camera millimeter lens that you should use, camera lens for your DSLR if you have one, is a 300 millimeter. This is a 300 millimeter. It extends out to here or so, about to there. It extends out pretty good. I open this up. This is made by Canon, but there's other Nikon 300 millimeters, but this one does really good on cameras because it goes out that far. And a 300 millimeter does pretty good on cameras. It does really good when you go out rail fanning. Because when a train is about 50 yards away from me, I'll start taking shots immediately. So it gives me a good clear image of what the picture is. So the best thing is, if you don't know how to set your DSLR, just set it to auto, to everything pretty much auto. It'll do it for you. But I have everything on manual because I've been studying about cameras and how they operate and how the aperture, iOS, all this stuff works into that. So if you don't know what you're doing, just put everything on automatic. But this is a professional camera. This is a Canon SL1. There's Nikons out there. but they're going to run you a good price. You could probably get a good deal during Black Friday coming up in a couple weeks. So if you live here in the U.S., feel free to grab you one of those SO1s because it is touchscreen and it is built-in Wi-Fi as well. It does really good on quality, and this Galaxy S9 Plus does really good on videos too. It does shoot 4K and 1080p, but it does take up a lot of memory, so be on alert for that. But I'd say that's why you use a phone. But the most important thing, the value to all of these, is basically a, a scanner made by Radio Shack or Uniden. There's different other scanners out there. You can find dozens and tons of scanners that run on 1600 megahertz or higher. And so that's what you want. And make sure you get an add-on antenna. If you get a Radio Shack scanner, make sure you get a different antenna add-on, a third-party antenna, because the ones that come with Radio Shack are not really that good. But well, like I said again, that's what RailFanning is all about. Another good thing is to have is a computer or laptop you can track a TCS monitor, which I will do a tutorial that coming in a couple of days. So to show you guys what is a TCS monitor, what is it, and how to use it. Just keep in mind, a TCS monitor does not work with ATCS monitor does not work on CSX railroads because due to the fact that CSX is all satellite. Everything else can be trackable if the server is available on ATCS monitor. I'll go into more of that in another video and give you a video tutorial of you guys that want to use ATCS monitor to track trains in different areas. And there's also good websites like Virtual Railfan and Railstream are my two top websites I go to track trains on websites because they have cameras. So check them out below, and I'll have a video of that as well. How to track trains, give you a better, clearer visual of how to track trains in the area with using ATS monitor. But when you're out rail fanning, is always have a scanner because that's going to help you down the road when it comes to rail fanning. So those are the main things that I want to show you guys. And also I want to add this: have some binoculars if you're out if you have a good view of a stretch of railroad out where you go rail fanning. It's always good to have some set of binoculars because there's always good be able to see the trains out in the distance and be ready for take that shot if you use to take pictures and stuff. That's going to help you as well. Some depots that you go where you go watch trains, they have train watch areas like out in Locust Grove. They have built-in scanners at the bench area out there. So just be on the lookout for that because some might have scanners built in and where you go the train platform areas. So those are always good to have. So my name is Casey. That's pretty much it. And also, if you'd like to be part of Clear Ceiling Railroad Productions to track, record trains and be able to upload videos to me, and we'll share them on our YouTube channel, feel free to do so. We are just now getting started. I don't know where this channel is going to be, but if you'd like to subscribe, feel free to do so. Like this video. We're hoping that we'll get to share our passion for trains. I've been in trains for almost 2 years. I'm a big aviation buff. I've been in aviation for so many years now. I'm going into trains now, and I really do like going out there to CSX Fitzgerald sub owned by CSX, and it's really awesome where these trains coming from and how they operate. It's really cool if you really study them. So my name is Casey. Thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope this guys helps you out a little bit about rail fanning and about us, about Clear Ceiling Railroad Productions. And if you'd like to be involved with Clear Ceiling Railroad Productions, if you know any of your talents and gifts that you have, feel free to share those with us. And I will definitely get in contact with you personally. And we'll see where this goes. My name is Casey. Thank you so much for checking out Clear Ceiling Railroad Productions. And I'll see you guys very soon.